Hi, welcome back. In the last lecture, we saw the importance of your resume and how it is a representative of yourself. In this lecture, we'll see how a resume document looks like, what are the do's and don'ts around it when you create one. So let's proceed. I would like to really start with what you should not really include on your resume. And the first thing is any skill or any skill sets for which you cannot handle questions in the interview should not be on your resume. Let me give an example. Let's say you put Unix operating system as one of the operating systems on your resume. Now, it could be that you have started Unix recently and you are still about to even achieve a basic level of knowledge of Unix operating system. Now, if that goes on your resume and the interviewer has no idea about it, so if he sees that on your resume, you're sitting face to face or you're on a Zoom interview call, he starts asking questions like, basic questions. How do you check the operating system or the machine IP address? How do I copy file from one operating system of Unix machine to the another machine? Or do you know the grep command or do you know the vi editor? So if you cannot answer these basic questions, then it's better that you do not put Unix on your resume. That is just an example. Now now I have seen people putting like 8 to 10 different programming languages on their resume, like C, C++, Java, .NET, Python, Perl, shell scripting. It's fine, but then you should be able to at least answer some questions. Or maybe you can let the interviewer know that, hey, Python or Java is my primary skills, and then the other programming languages I have learned during my academic assignments, which then the interviewer can understand, and then he'll stick to your primary languages. So that's how you should put it. So the summary is, do not put any skill set which you really cannot take up questions, which is going to create a weird or awkward situation in the interview, and then you have to say no for certain set of questions there, which you really don't want to do that. The next thing, spelling mistakes and grammatical errors on your resume. Now, this is not really a big factor to reject a candidate, but not every HR person or not every technical recruiter is open like me. Sometimes I tend to ignore these mistakes, but not everybody is in a position to ignore these mistakes. After all, if you think it is just a two-page document or a three-page document, what is the possibility of having a spelling mistake or grammatical error on that document? Ideally, it should be zero. So I hope you got the message here. Uneven page format, font, and font size of your resume. Personally, I have seen resumes where the page format, the first page is in a different format, the second page has a different font or a different font size. I feel sometimes like I'm looking at two different resumes. I would really put this resume aside if you cannot create one uniform document. That is definitely not going to create a very good impression for you. So try to avoid these kind of mistakes. Review your resume from your friends, from your colleagues, so that they can give you feedback around that. And the last thing I wanted to highlight, what should not be on your resume, is your fake work experience or references. Now, these instances are very less, but there are instances where people have faked their work experiences, fake references. This is not going to work. The thing is, when you are offered a job, the organization obviously collects a set of documents from you, your graduation certificate copies, your internship details, and all of this is handed over to a third party verification agency, which does a background check on all of the information that you have provided. So, any discrepancy in the background information check versus the documents or information that you have provided is going to be a problem for you. So, this is exactly all the things that you should not put on your resume. Now, moving on, the resume flow, how your document should look like. First thing, there is no industry standard format of resume. I get these questions from some of the candidates I know of that, hey, is my resume good? Is it a right document that I have created? Is the format correct? So remember, folks, there is no industry standard format of your resume. The IT industry or the software industry has not defined any standard. It is a free flow document. So it is up to you how you create the document. It can be a PDF or a Word document. Both of them work really well as long as it carries the right information. Now, you can start with your name and contact information at the top, as well as a LinkedIn profile. Then your education and your grades, your university college name, that should go next. And then you can have a placeholder for your technical skills. You can also categorize your technical skills. For example, my programming skills, my operating system skills like Windows, Unix, what all operating systems you might have worked, RTOS. Then you can have your databases listed. You might have worked with MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL. Then other tools and technologies, like you might have set up Apache for yourself or any web server or Jira, Confluence, all these tools can go in there. But do categorize your technical skills clearly. Your academic project or any prior experience that you have or any internship, I would rate that your internship should go first, followed by your academic project. And then any other achievements or miscellaneous information. For example, you might have got any awards in your college, school, or during graduation, or any technical presentations that you might have done at conferences during your graduation, or any certifications like Java certifications, AWS certifications. Those can go there. Now, I again want to repeat the same thing, that this is one of the format that you can have for your resume. And then at the end, you can put in more personal details. Now, these personal details vary from region to region, geography to geography. Like, for example, I've seen in India that people putting in like their current location, their hobbies, and other things. Whereas in US, I've seen like people sticking only to very few bare minimum personal details there. Obviously, this is not going to be any deciding factor whether you will be called for the interview or not called for the interview. But this is good to have. Personal details section is good to have on your resume. So that's how your resume should look like. And as I said, there is no fixed format here. But in the next lecture, we are going to take a look at sample resume, and you can copy one of that or create and upgrade that particular format. So that's it for this particular lecture, and see you in the next lecture. Thank you.